Hey, what is up guys? How are you doing today? We're going to be legit checking some Yeezy 350 V2 Yeshayas. As of now, these are the newest Yeezy release. A lot of people are comparing them to the Static and the Lundmark, but there are some differences, and I'll do a whole video about that actually. I have all three of those shoes as well as a bunch of other Yeezys I have to do legit checks on. So if you're into that kind of stuff, hit the subscribe button on this channel. I got a ton of shoes. I got to do a ton of reviews on stuff like that. So if you're into this, if you dig the video shots, if you dig the cinematic quality, then hit that subscribe button and hit the like button while you're at it. All right, guys, let's get into this. How to legit check your Yeezy 350 V2 Yeshayas. So let's pan down. I'll show you the box. So here's your box. You're gonna have 350 on the top, Boost on the side. One side's gonna have your Yeezy Boost 350 made by Adidas. I think they just stopped altogether doing the adidas.com/Kanye right there. So that's pretty much done for. And then you're gonna have your tag right there. So there's a few ways right off the bat just to check from your box if it's legit. Number one, here's a fake box. Let me show you what that's gonna look like. So here's three ways you can tell if your box is fake. So if your box is fake, pretty much you're gonna be guaranteed your shoes are fake. But number one, you're gonna look at measurements. Now this measurement trick is only gonna work for Yeezys that are, I believe, 11.5 and up. But because that's when the box size goes up, whereas the fake box right here is the same size as the box of the smaller sizes from like 11 down. So if you have like 11.5 up to like a 13 or 14, these would be the measurements on your box. All right, width is gonna be right around 10 1/8 inches. Length is gonna be 14 1/4 and like 1 millimeter. And then your depth is gonna be right around 5 3/4. So if your box that is over 11.5, I believe, if you have the bigger size box and it doesn't meet those measurements, big red flag. All right, second thing on the box is gonna be the color. If you see this color right here, it's kind of a greenish, brownish maybe, and it should show up on camera. This is a fake box, and every single box of fakes that I've ever received from a company, I got a lot of companies sending me out whenever I make these shoe videos. They wanna send me the fakes out. But this is much darker, like a much darker brown green. I'm colorblind, guys, but I can tell just right off the bat that this is a darker font. And also the real Yeezy box in general has like a richer cardboard color, where this has more like a bland cardboard color. And again, I don't know how to describe that. I am colorblind, guys, but you can color check this video. I've set the white balance on my camera to 5500K, same as my lights here. So white balance and color should be very accurate with this. So you can just look at this and compare your color to this. All right, let's move on to the third way to tell from the outside of your box, and that is going to be your UPC tag, or whatever you'd like to call it. All right, now a few things here. If you look right here, mine ends in a V03 right here. And the reason that is because it has the 1, 2, 3 sizes right here. If you have the US version of the tag, US version has 1, 2, 3 size types. The European version has 6 different boxes here, and they will say V10 or V11 there. So here, let me show you. Here's a fake box, and as you'll see, it is the US version, but it has a V10 right down there, right? Completely wrong. That's fake. But yeah, here's kind of a close shot of the label. You can kind of cross-reference your label against mine and make sure everything lines up. Look at the Y right here. Look at the Y right here and see the line lines right up with that. At least on my pair it does. Another thing you're going to want to notice right off the bat is you're going to have the EPC inside. I think every single US pair should have this. I think some of the European ones don't have it, and I have a pair of European ones that don't have the EPC inside sticker. And what that is, let me show you. Once we get into the box, you see this tag right here? You see that tag inside of there, that chip looking thing? That is an RFID tag. It further illustrates it here on the label, RFID EPC inside. That's what that is. If you have EPC inside on the outside of your tag on your box and it doesn't have that little thing in there, big red flag. But let's get these out of the box. My box didn't have any stickers in it. It came from Hibbett Sports, and look at that. It was like disconnected there. So that's one thing. And then also, one of my shoes just wasn't tied. So little quality control on, well, it's not, I guess it's not Hibbett's fault, but yeah, sucks. Okay, so shoes, you're gonna have your tissue paper inside. It's gonna look similar to this. Nothing, I mean, I don't think that's a great way to judge whether it's real or not. All right, so this is the color of the shoe here in general. Now, I'm colorblind as crap, guys. I don't know exactly what this color is, but here's like a kind of a close macro shot of all this stuff so you can see what the color is and kind of compare it. A lot of times when I'm looking online at shoes, at like Yeezy reviews, I just can't discern the colors when I'm looking at it. So here's a really close shot of the prime knit stitching and everything up here. All All right, so first thing we're gonna look at is lacing here. And this is gonna be the same for every pair of dead stock, brand new Yeezys. It's gonna be like this. The outside front lace, this first lace is always gonna go underneath this inside front lace. So on the right shoe, the right lace is gonna go underneath the left one. On the left shoe, the left lace is gonna go underneath the right one. If you have a pair of shoes that you bought off eBay or some sketchy place, and this lace goes over that inside lace, then that's a big red flag. Now, it's possible that if they're used, somebody could have washed them and relaced them and then relaced them wrong. That is possible. But if they're claiming that they're brand new, they should never go over that inside lace. All right, let's move on to the toe box. You got your stripe that goes down to the side. Mine's ending on this pair, like around an inch from the rubber tip here. Now, and again, this varies on almost all the Yeezys. I used to think that this was a good way to legit check, but after owning so many pairs, this varies so much. And the thing to notice is that all these are handmade. So every single Yeezy, most shoes in general, actually, just handmade shoes. So there's gonna be human error and human flaws. So I have a pair of Yeezys where one of the stripes is down to here and one's up to here, and that are legit Yeezys that came from Adidas. So I wouldn't take too much stock in this. Just make sure it's in this general area. If they're all the way up here or if they're all the way down there, yeah, be concerned. And then you're gonna wanna check your stitching. It's gonna be this nice hourglass stitching that goes all the way up to the tip of the tongue here. All right, let's move on to the side here. Now your stripe that's gonna go down, it's gonna kind of be in 3 parts. The back part's gonna be the smallest, this one's gonna be a little bit bigger, and then this front part's gonna be the longest, is in sections, right? So the back part's gonna be, you can't see through it, it's like this white material back here. And then right here, you should be able to see through it like this translucent, except for this loophole for the lace. And then the front is like this Swiss cheese looking, it just looks like Swiss cheese. And all the holes are not identical, so just make sure your holes look similar to that. All right, now let's move on to the inside of the shoe here. And the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check my insoles. And the insoles on these, it's really hard to see. Let me see if I can turn this ISO down. That's gonna be the color on your insoles. It's like a greenish color, I believe, I'm not sure. And then as usual, just like every other, you're gonna have the YH0010, 11.5 to 12.5, but the 11.5 to 12.5 is gonna change depending on your size. So that means 11.5 to 12.5, this insole is used for all those. And then the notches on my toe are gonna be a big and a small one, and then a gap, and then another small one. Here's the Adidas cutout on the back. You can kind of check that out, make sure it's very well defined. Looks like there's a dot at every tip of the Adidas Trefoil logo. And then right here is gonna be a shot of my inner tag. This is something you can kind of cross-reference with your inner tag just to make sure that you have something very similar or pretty much exact, depending on your size. And then we'll move out of the inside and around to the back of the shoe here. And number one thing to me that I can kind of depend on when it comes to real Yeezys is this stitching on the back. It runs very straight, not super straight, but usually pretty straight up to the back. If you have a pair and the stitching runs off that way or runs off that way, that's a big red flag. And then check right here to make sure this comes down to a peak, almost like a widow's peak. Some are less substantial than others with the peak, but this pair has a pretty substantial peak. Also another thing to check, but I've really never seen it wrong even on fakes, is this stitching runs with this second heel bump tab thing. Pretty much always runs right in with the stitching. So that's something else to look out for with the back. Another thing different about these is this, again, I don't know the name of this. I'm not a shoe expert, guys. I know math magician, but whatever this is called is pretty much see-through on this pair. So you can see very clearly like where the boost begins and where it ends. Whereas on some of the other pairs, like you'll see here in this shot against the Statics is a much more fogged out, I guess is what you would call it. All right, let's move on to the Boost. And this is very much different than the other like static style 350s, where it's more like a checkerboard pattern. Usually you'll have like a cluster back here and then like a row going up. But on this pair, that is not the case. And it looks like all of them are 3 stripes. All right, guys, so that is my legit check guide on the Yeezy 350 V2 Yeshayas. I'll do a whole separate video here shortly about like the difference between the Lundmark, the Yeshaya, and the Statics, kind of compare. I have all 3 of those, so I'll check that out. And again, I have just a ton of shoes that I got to do stuff on. So if you're into any of that kind of stuff, just go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if this helped you out at all. Throw a comment down below if you have any questions or concerns. I might be able to get back to you and help you out. But yeah, guys, that is the end of the video. Have a great day. Thank you for watching. Bye.